the Downtown Business Club, hosted by the Downtown Improvement District.
Thanks for coming out this morning for our Downtown Business Club, affectionately called the DBC. I'm Bill Brown. I'm president of the Downtown Improvement District, and we have a very informative speaker here today, Stephen Bailey. But prior to the presentation, I would like to thank our sponsors, primarily the downtown property owners who actually pay a small assessment for our to allow us to operate. They voted us in this year again for another 10-year authorization and committed somewhere in the vicinity of $4 to $6 million added to the $4.5 million that they've invested as private property owners in downtown Fort Wayne over the last 20 years. So they've played a key role in the evolution and the renaissance of downtown Fort Wayne. And speaking of playing a key role, Stephen Bailey, our speaker today, who is president with a PH Digital Marketing and Design. It's the PH is the part that the PhD is the part that I think is most relevant because Stephen, for those of you that know Stephen, he is literally, the term rock star is used, but I think if downtown Fort Wayne has a rock star, it's definitely Stephen Bailey. He is so well connected, so dedicated, spends so much time advancing the vibrancy of downtown Fort Wayne. And that is our mission at the Downtown Improvement District. So without further ado, I will go ahead and turn it over to Stephen Bailey. Stephen?
Good morning. How you guys doing today? My name is Stephen J. Bailey. For I know probably half of you in the room and the rest, I'm so glad you're here, and those of you that I know too. I'm president of With a PH Digital Marketing and Development, and I use the J because there are 3 Stephen J. Baileys in town. One of them is a felon, and the other one has more tax liens that I have to sign off on every time I buy something. So that's why I use the J. And With a PH Digital is something that I've created. I've been doing this for 10 years, and I rebranded my company this year because PH is part of my name, Stephen with a PH. A lot of people call me that, and it's just something that I think we're going to be talking a lot about today, which is that branding really is about that one thing about your business that's different and unique and your own that you can bring out into the public and you can bring people into your business and kind of make that shine. So we'll get into that today. We've got a lot to talk about. This is going to go by really quick, and we'll try to squeeze it in. We'll definitely have you out of here by 10 o'clock. I know everybody's time is precious, so I really appreciate you being here. We're going to talk about Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, today, and then we're going to talk about some general social media practices for all 3 of them. And as we move along, if anybody has any questions, if you have any comments, you can raise your hand. You can just start talking. This is definitely a back and forth. I feel like when I do these, if you guys are engaged, it just helps a little bit more. If you are thinking about a question, there's probably 5 other people that are thinking it too, so feel free to just shout and talk, and we will get through it. Okay, so we're going to jump into Facebook real quick here. So we're talking about business pages, not personal pages, just to clarify that. The great thing about Facebook is that it is free. Facebook never sleeps. It is up 24/7. And the great thing about Facebook is that if someone is signing up for your business page, that is your 100% audience, as opposed to if you're putting like an ad out or if you're trying to do print material or maybe a general ad to the public. No offense against print. I actually have a print company that hires me to do their digital, so print is still relevant, but digital is definitely great for getting those people that are already signing up for what you're talking about. So with that, it's not a billboard or a newspaper or a shot in the dark. It's a direct action to people that are willingly saying, hey, I want to hear from you, which is fantastic. Facebook has the most solid ROI of anything I'm going to talk about today, and actually any kind of marketing I've ever been involved in. And Facebook is not paying me to say that. That's just the truth. So we will get into that in more detail today. I know a lot of you probably want to know about Boost. That's the thing probably in the last year that people are confused about or frustrated, and we'll definitely be talking about that more in detail. Okay, so this is gonna be a little one-on-one, but if you have any detailed questions, don't hesitate to ask. Here is a shot of the current business Facebook profiles. If you noticed, Facebook updated this about 2 weeks ago. So this is the new look where the logo is no longer hovering over the cover photo. Everything's been pushed to the left. If you are I'm sorry guys, I know this is a little far because that one's shut down, but Basically, if you are running a business page, you're going to see this. It's going to tell you your reach, your ups and downs, how many people you can reach within so many miles of your business for a few dollars, how many likes you're at, your bio, et cetera, et cetera. So with branding, I'm really, really big on branding. The number one thing you want to consider for not just Facebook, but for all of your social media profiles is to have a logo that's preferably professionally done, that's going to fit into a square. And if you have maybe like a rectangular logo or a circular one, you want to get that professionally widened. You don't want to just throw it on there so that when your logo is up, it's cutting off like the edges. And then your cover logo, let me just read through this. So have a high resolution logo that fits and have a high resolution logo that fits and change it never unless your branding changes. So that's the DIDS logo. I've been contracting with them for over 4 years. They've had that for significantly longer than that. That has never once changed. So that's solid branding for downtown Fort Wayne. And then have a profile cover photo that is relevant and change it seasonally at most. So right now you've got a cover photo of Pint and Slice and Dash In down on Calhoun. That was put up probably in the last 2 months, I think I did that. That is relevant to summer. It's relevant to seeing busy streets downtown, which we love for people to see, people having fun, people being engaged. It's seasonal to what's going on. I will not have that cover photo up during Christmas because it wouldn't be relevant and it wouldn't bring people downtown. Have a profile that has detailed, basic, relevant information about your business that connects to your website. So what we're going to talk about with all these social channels is that your website, even if it's just a one-pager, everybody should have a website for your business that is the base for all of your social media. It kind of works like a circle. Are you hearing me okay back there? You good? Okay. So you've got your website, and then you have your SEO, your keywords and everything that drives traffic to Google to get to your website. And then when you get to your website, you'll have these offshoots of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and then other social media channels that we're not talking about today that people can go to see what's happening with your business. I would say 5, 8, 10 years ago, it was more common to have like blogs. It was more common to have like a news section, and you would hire somebody and they would update that every week or every day. Now, websites are a little bit more stagnant. There's solid information that doesn't change often. And then your social media should be where your information lives, and it changes daily so that you don't have to be updating your website, updating your social media. It can all go right here. So your website should connect to your social media, and your social media should connect back to your website. So that what I'm trying to do is cut out all that time. I run about 20 channels, and if I had everybody private messaging me for what hours are you open, what's your contact information, I would just never sleep. So if there's a website that has all the information, it can cut that out for you. Merging Facebook pages. This is a new thing that Facebook is offering since the last time I did a speaking engagement that I wanted to talk about. So I do the Botanical Conservatory, lovely place downtown that's awesome. And they had a regular Facebook page, but then they also had a Facebook page for their Botanical Roots. It's a concert series that they do every summer. And what they wanted to do was to bring that together because they were losing people with their ability to connect. So Facebook will allow you, if you have 2 pages that are talking about the same thing, you can submit a request to them for both Facebook pages. You can tell them which one you want to be the permanent, which one you want to delete. It will take all of your secondary Facebook page content, photos, and the likes, the people that are following it, the audience, and it'll bring it into one Facebook page, which has been really great. We have a lot of people that maybe somebody started a Facebook page and then they hired somebody new and they started a Facebook page, and you have all these things that are hanging out there. It's a great way to bring it together. When we did that for the conservatory, their likes grew by 700 people in a day. So that's a really easy process, something to keep in mind. Okay, next thing. So this is what I like to call the perfect post for Facebook. You want to use a solid graphic to capture the attention of your audience, and I recommend a horizontal image that's 600 pixels in width if possible. Basically, what that means is it'll fit your entire channel when it comes up on Facebook, not just on mobile, but also on desktop. By horizontal, I mean it's long ways, so that when you're seeing it on desktop, it's not a smaller image that comes up. You can post whatever you want. I'm just trying to give you the most desirable so that if it fits your whole screen every time, people are just more likely to see it and give it attention. Concise, not too wordy. Give it just enough information to hook your audience, and then link back to a website for more information. So we'll talk about these three things right now. So this is a screenshot from a few years ago for an event we did with Holly Trolley with the Downtown Improvement District. And let's see here. So this one post had a reach of 47,502 people. And this is actually before the days of boosting. This was organic. What we did is we put up 2 sentences, and then I linked to the website where you could find more information just about Holly Trolley. Instead of like the generalized website, it's a page made exactly for what folks are clicking through to. And then if you'll see, I actually tagged downtown Fort Wayne when I was talking about downtown Fort Wayne, even though downtown Fort Wayne made the post. I want to give the audience any reason they can to click through. So what happens is you'll see on this post that 524 people liked it. We had 33 comments, but we had 312 shares. So that means if the average Facebook user has 500 people, just each of you in your audience that you're friends with, you went to college with, you went to school with, that 312 times 500 is a lot of people. So your shares are where your gold is at. So 312 times 500 people, that post went in front of for possibly the first time that were never people that were an audience member of downtown Fort Wayne that might have never saw it, that maybe didn't know it existed but had been downtown. And I just gave them one more reason when they saw that post to click it and like the page. And I remember that day when that post went up. Within 2 days, I think the did picked up like 400 people. It was a really like a viral post. And then I'm gonna actually talk about this photo. So I was down there for Holly Trolley, and this was, I think, the first year we did it. When I took this photo the year before, I rode the trolley, I hopped off, and when you're running the business of your own, whatever that is, and whatever capacity it is, whether it's small or big, always keep in mind to just be present where you're at and to think about, maybe you could take a photo because maybe a year from now it might be relevant, maybe 3 months from now it might be relevant. With all the filters we have now, you can take a really ugly photo and make it pretty beautiful. We'll talk about that too. I hopped off. I just happened to take this. I wasn't really thinking anything through, but the perfect thing about this is that it had a trolley. It had the Downtown Improvement District logo on the trolley. It had the Santa behind it on the PNC building, had clear skies, beautiful day. And that was everything I needed to tell this story. And I literally took that off the cuff. That wasn't planned. That was took with like an iPhone 3 years ago. And then because of that, and then creating the perfect post, that post went viral on its own without having to pay for anything. So ideally, that's what you want to go for. Okay, let's talk about event page posts versus separate Facebook pages. This is a new thing that I've recognized that I don't know if Facebook is aware of, and I'm sure as soon as they are, they're going to take it away from us and make us pay for it. An event page would be, okay, this is a great example. So we create an event page for Holly Trolley every year through downtown Fort Wayne, where you can like invite your friends to come for the day and invite all your network and say, hey, come down for this, and I can post in that event on Facebook and talk about what's happening that day, the hours it is. You can RSVP, you can say, I'm going, I'm interested, or I'm not going. So when you do that, anybody that shows interest or commits to going, if then I, as an admin for the Downtown Improvement District page, post in that event page, every single person that has RSVP'd or has shown interest in it will get a notification in their personal Facebook page. That's 100% ROI. As opposed to if I were to just go to the DID's Facebook page and post information about Holly Trolley, like an FYI of what's coming up next, that would go to 1%. That's what organic reach for Facebook is now. So the DID has just shy of 30,000 followers, and 1% of that is 300 people, not 30,000. So if I put a post up and I don't boost it, and it doesn't get enough likes, comments, and shares in the first few minutes to go viral, 300 people will see it, 29,700 will not. And if you have a page that has literally 300 likes, like a lot of small businesses do, that is 3 people. So that's why if you were to create an event, if you had an event and you want to use it only if you have an event, you want to use it for the right reasons. But if you were to post in the event and you can get 100% of people knowing about your post as opposed to 1%, that's what that would be great for. I'm going to also talk about separate Facebook pages. This is kind of relevant to what I was talking about with the Botanical Conservatory. So Three Rivers Festival hired me this summer for the raft race marketing promotion. And they, a couple years ago, decided to, in addition to their very popular Three Rivers Festival Facebook page, to have a bed race Facebook page and a raft race Facebook page and a Art in the Park Facebook page. And they have all these Facebook pages. So now all their information is spread out, and it's not concise, and you don't know where to go to look for the information. Do you go to the main one? Do you go to the specific one? And if you post on those pages, you're getting a 1% ROI. So what I told them to do is to merge those pages, bring all those followers in, and then starting next year, to create an event from the main Three Rivers Festival Facebook page. And when they do that, they can create an event for the raft race, for Art in the Park, and then if they post in it, they get 100% ROI, and they can grow that event, and then you're good to go. Anybody have any questions on this so far?
You make it sound so easy, so.
Good, yay.
Is there a step-by-step for those who don't use Facebook as much?
Sure.
To go in and, hey, here's the model, click, 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 and it's done.
I could send you this, or you could email me. I mean, these are things I'm working out, because as I'm talking, like if I'm losing you, I don't want to lose you. This to me is just so easy as I'm saying it, so that's a great point. You know, the key things to work, like if you're taking notes, it would be just to create event page, do not create a secondary page, things like that. It's just key to keep in mind, and then it'll pretty much walk you through, yeah. Okay, boosts. So this is a big topic. You can do more with $5 on Facebook than any other marketing angle I've ever seen, ever. Watch your boosts. Like if you do boost something, just keep an eye on it. And then you can pause it or you can end it when you're happy with the results. I'll get into that more in a second. And then everyone should be spending a few bucks a month on Facebook ads and boosts. Your target audience is waiting to give you a solid ROI, return on investment. Okay, so January of 2015 is when Facebook like really just dropped the hammer and everything went to 1%, and that's when everybody could feel it. Like you'd put a post up and it used to hit thousands, and then suddenly it was hitting like 37 people. And I call this like the drug deal. Like for so long, like for years, Facebook gave us this really, really great tool, and it was awesome. I could put a post up about Holly Trolley and 47,000 people would see it. And all I had to do was know when to post it and have a solid image and do my job well, and it would take care of itself. Now, that's so much harder. The problem is that they gave us something, they hooked us, we love it, we want more, and now they want us to pay for it. It's like crack, you know? Like they give you the first one for free, and now you have to pay for more. So once you can get over being upset about that, rightfully so, you're just not going to find this anywhere else. And for $5, I mean, 5 is just a great number that I use, but I have clients that literally I'll put $1 up. It's that easy. So the bare minimum that Facebook will let you boost any post ever is $1 for 1 day. But the cool thing about that is if I were to boost $1 on the did, it's already got 30,000 followers, so it's going to put it in front of like 1,000 people for that. And if 30 cents in, enough people like, comment, and share that it goes viral, I can pause that, save my 70 cents, spend 30 cents, and my post went viral just like I wanted. I just needed to like give it that jump start. So this is a really great way to keep in mind. You don't need to go broke. You don't need to spend a ton of money. And Facebook is full of integrity. Like my bills are ridiculous because I do this for so many people. I was actually looking at how much I've spent in the last year and a half, and it just made me cry. But the good thing is that they're really reliable. They have insanely detailed billing. They will piece it apart by every page that you run. They will tell you how long it ran for. They will tell you the exact amount that you paused it at or how much you ran it for total. They will tell you the reach, the click-through, everything. It's got fantastic ROI. And if you are working for an employer, or maybe you're an admin person, or you're just, you know, someone's hired you and they're like, hey, take over the Facebook page. That's a thing I hear a lot, like, just do this for me. This is a really great way to be that person that can give them solid data, and you can be like, hey, that little hobby that you made me take over, by the way, it reached 3,700 people last week, and 178 people clicked through about that thing we were talking about. And as a business owner, that's what perks ears, and that's what people will pay attention to. And that's what will get your employer to give you more money to boost post more. Did you have a question?
Yes, are you paying for this through PayPal, or your money on a credit
Yeah, awesome question. So this is all ran through a credit card, and this is a really great question. So everyone that's an admin for a Facebook page has to be the person on the account to run the boost. So basically, some of my clients, it's just built in, whereas other clients, I give them the detailed receipt when it's over of what Facebook bills me for, and then I send it to them, and then they reimburse me. So, like, if your owner made you an admin, you wouldn't be able to use your owner's credit card. So that is something to be aware of. Yeah.
How does Facebook determine 1%? Because some of our posts go to like 40 people and others go to 1,000.
Yeah, that's an awesome question too. So that would come down to the time of day that, sorry. So we're taping this today and they want to hear everything audibly. Go ahead and ask that again.
How does Facebook, is it coming through?
Yeah, you're good.
How does Facebook determine the 1% that it decides to send out? Sometimes it's 40, sometimes it's thousands. So I'm just curious, how do they determine that
Absolutely.
audience?
And I love that you know that because that means you're paying attention because it really is sometimes 40 and sometimes it's 1,000. So it just depends who's online at that exact moment. That's really all it is. So if you were to post something at 6 p.m. on a Friday, you're going to have 40 people. If you were to post something at 8 p.m. on a Sunday or 7 p.m. on a Thursday or 2 p.m. on a Monday, those are like spike moments where everybody's online. And I'll just run over that real quick, like if anybody wants to take notes on that. The worst time to post on social media would be Friday after like 3 o'clock. I just say that social media dies. My buddy John Feltz at Visit Fort Wayne runs their Twitter, and we just have this thing. I'll like text him at like 2:50 on a Friday and be like, you got 10 minutes to get that tweet in. Like social media is dying in 10 minutes. So, you know, people just want to get on with their weekend. They're not on their phones. They're picking up their kids. They're, you know, so Sunday nights are the best night if you want to post video. Out of the whole week, people are home. They're on their phones. They're not at work. They're more likely to watch. And then the desirable times would be Monday through Friday, and it starts at like 6, 7 a.m., and then it bumps at 10 a.m., it bumps up again at 2, and then it peaks around like 7:30, and that really surprised me. And obviously your audience is completely different. Like if you had a Facebook page for Insomniacs Anonymous, that's not your ideal time. You know, like you're gonna have to know your audience, but ideally, like I work with about 20 pages, and I would say that really is how it works. And the reason is if you just think about an ideal day, people are getting ready in the morning, they're getting going, they have to go to a job, they have to drop kids off, they're going to school, they're work, they're going to lunch. Then they're busy for a moment, then they're in like nap mode, coma from the lunch, then they're like busy again, then they're getting ready to leave, they're going home, blah, 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 do their dinner, then they're online again, and then they're doing their stuff before bed. So. Let's see here. Two more. Just want to make sure I'm talking about this in detail. Okay, so there are 3 audiences that you can choose from on Facebook. The first is people who like your page. I suggest never, ever clicking that. Number 2 is people who like your page and their friends. And number 3 is people you choose through targeting. I would always pick either people who like your page and their friends or people you choose through targeting. Because if you're going to pick people who like your page, you might as well pick their friends too. So that means if I like a company and somebody posts about it and I comment on it, it means that my friends are going to see that. And then people you choose through targeting. So maybe your company is doing really well. You're looking for ways to grow it. You're looking to reach a more concentrated audience. You're looking to sell a product. You're new in the neighborhood. You want to reach out to like a millennial crowd or a 9-to-5 crowd. The great thing about targeting is Facebook will go as detailed as you want, and it'll actually freak you out if you get into it about how detailed. You could literally pick, I want to talk to women 35 to 45 years old that are managers, that have college degrees, that live in Northeast Indiana, that are single, that have interest in the Fort Wayne Zoo and like to go spinning, and they will put it in front of them. It's pretty cool. The more concentrated it is, the higher you're going to pay per person, you know, because you're getting a very concentrated audience and there's not that many people out there that like a very specific thing, but you're going to get maybe more return on your value because those are the people that you know are going to buy your product, et cetera. Okay, we're gonna move. Oh, one more thing is you can boost this for a day or you can boost it for forever. You could put a boost for $30 for 30 days, and it will literally boost it $1 every day, and it'll take it through very gradually and all the way to the end. You can pause that at any time. Never feel overwhelmed. Don't feel like they're gonna take your money. You are in complete control with your account. At any time you can pause it. At any time you can stop anything that's happening. Anybody have any questions about this before we move on? Yeah.
You said that, like, when you did the boost for $1 and 30 cents,
Yeah.
you saw it was going viral.
Mm-hmm.
It was going viral at 30 cents, and you stopped it.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, what's the difference there versus?
Versus finishing it?
Correct.
Yeah, you would think like, wow, if I'm getting this much from 30 cents, why wouldn't I want that much from another 70 cents? What I have found is that once something goes viral, it doesn't even compete to being paid. You'll be able to see, it'll show you a little graph. It'll be in a light orange and a dark orange, and it'll show you, okay, 5 out of these 7 people were from viral, and 2 out of 7 were from paid. And the more something goes viral, the more like that paid. You could pay $20 for something, and it'll be like 3%. You'll have like 27,000 people that liked it because it went viral, and 2,000 that liked it because of what you paid.
So it didn't go viral because you paid it, it went viral anyway.
It technically did, but then you might as well stop because the return on investment from that 70 cents isn't going to be anywhere near what you're going to get from viral. It's just going to be like peanuts. So you might as well just stop and save your money.
So 70 cents wouldn't compound that?
Right. I mean, you can. I mean, you're not going to lose anything. It's just if you really are trying to save money and you're going to be putting money behind posts every single day and it's going to add up at the end of the year, that's a great way to just keep on top of it. And when you have 20 clients and you're trying to spread that money around, like I'm a hawk watching each post. The minute it goes viral, pause. Let it take care of itself. Yep. Does that help? Okay, awesome. Yeah, no problem. Any other questions on this? Yeah.
Explain the target audience a little bit better?
Yeah, so she asked if I could explain the target audience a little bit better. Do you want to talk about how to find that target audience, or?
Are they actually adding up to one person? So like if I write somebody who likes dogs, drinks wine, lives in Fort Wayne, and is between 25 and 32, do they have to have all of those?
Yes.
So basically, okay, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't be just some of them.
Right, super defined. If you were like, well, one of those people like cats, 10 of them probably like dogs, I would stick with the dog one, you know, if you want more people. Or if you're looking for like, man, I really want those cat followers to sell my...
I only want dog people
Okay.
in my dance
Yeah,
class.
there you go, right. Dog people are good people, yeah. Okay, great. Any other questions? All right. So we're going to jump into Twitter now. Actually, I usually start off with this question, and I totally forgot. I just wanted to know if you guys could show your hands, how many people here use Facebook personally in your life? Wow. How many people have a business Facebook page? Okay. How many people use Twitter personally? Okay. How many people have a Twitter for your business or run a Twitter business account? Okay. How many have an Instagram personal account? And how many use Instagram for your business? Okay. How many have Snapchat, personally or professionally? Okay, great. Does any, and you don't even have to name it, I'm not trying to call people out, but if you run a different social channel than any of the 4 that I listed that you love or prefer, like raise your hand if there's another one. Can I ask what that is?
Yeah, I use Tumblr as well.
Okay, great. Does anybody else use Tumblr regularly? Okay, yeah, awesome, cool. So I think you see the demographic of this room and the age range and what everybody just listed. So I did a speaking on all this at IPFW just this last semester with about 60 kids that were, I would say, 19 or 20. And I asked them their go-to, and not one of them raised their hand for Facebook. And I'm 35, and that just shocked me. Their go-to in the class, number 1 was Twitter, and it was followed by Instagram. They said they like Snapchat, but it's not their go-to. And when I asked why they were so, I mean, like, it was like a room this size. Nobody was using Facebook, and I was like, why? Like, what's going on? They're like, my parents can see it. Done. period. Okay, got it. So that's just information for you to know as you're trying to find which channel to use. You might just want to use one channel. You might want to use 3 channels. But to know your audience. Just because you have a business, it doesn't mean you need Twitter. Just because you have a business, it doesn't mean you need Facebook. It's trying to find which one best fits your demographic. So I would say Facebook is for late 20s and up. I really hope that we grow to the point where we can pull those kids back in, because Facebook is such an awesome tool and I would hate to lose them. Twitter is aimed at young millennials, and then there's definitely an older crowd that loves it. And then Instagram is that one channel that as of now, I find grandparents and I find like college kids using. So it's really versatile. Okay, we're gonna jump into Twitter here. This is just a basic overview. So I would say out of any of the social media channels I jumped on, that Twitter was by far the hardest for me to use. It just felt really unnatural, and there were millions of people doing it, and I just couldn't understand how I could be on everything else, and this one just wasn't flowing for me. So I made a solid effort, and it took like half a year for me to just like really understand it and really get it. So some tips for this are to find your voice and be willing to make mistakes. I think one of the things that scared me is I thought, am I tweeting right? Like, does this sound dumb? Am I supposed to use a hashtag? Am I supposed to like tag people when I talk? Is anybody seeing this? Like, do I have to tag people for them to see this? We'll go over all that, but just go for it. The thing about Twitter that is so different from the other social media channels is it's out of sight, out of mind. You're gonna tweet something like right now and 3 minutes ago, nobody's gonna care. But that second they read it, they're gonna give it its attention, and then it's done. That's the magic of Twitter. Don't feel intimidated by people, by businesses, by what you think you need to be. Just start a little at a time. Understand the difference between block and mute. So, especially during a political season. I've seen folks that have done this in the community, and it can go really bad for businesses. Like, a business will block another business and they don't know that the business knows that they blocked them. If you block anybody, everybody, like, you will know that. That's public information, particularly the person that you're blocking. And that can start problems. So if you don't care for somebody, you can mute them and they will never know the difference. I actually have some people in my extended social circle that I love in real life, but man, I cannot handle them on Twitter. So they are muted and I have no idea like what they're doing with their lives on Twitter. And they will never know. So, and the great thing about that is you can just always go and click on their page and see what they're up to if you really want to. Twitter's not just for the younger demographic. We went over that. It's definitely growing. When we got into Twitter, so I came onto the DID contracting early 2012. I think we were sending out 3 tweets a week. I'll send out 3 tweets in a morning now. And for Twitter, I felt so uber responsible for talking about everything going on downtown, because I would say out of everybody in the district that has a Twitter account, it's grown by probably 500% in 4 years. So there's so many more people that can do their own marketing and talk about what they're doing on Twitter that just didn't have it before. Learn the art of 140 characters or less. I love to write. I can be long-winded, super, super easy. And squeezing everything into 140 characters in the beginning was so hard for me. But now I find it just really great. It's really succinct. There's a way to get your information across to a lot of people without wasting their time. And that's what Twitter is. It's really quick. People want to know what's up, they want to hear it, and they want to move on to the next thing. It's really rare that, like on Facebook, you might be more likely to go check out a page, scroll through, see what was happening. On Twitter, I don't see a lot of people doing that. They just want to see what comes to the newsfeed, and then they want to move on. Also on Twitter, so Downtown Improvement District, for instance, has 12,000 Twitter followers. And if I can get 20 people to like a status or retweet or anything, I am elated. If I got 20 likes on a Facebook page, I would just cry. Like, that would be so sad. Same on Instagram. So Twitter is just different. And I see a lot of people that are giving up on it because they don't get the feedback. They don't get the back and forth. Twitter does have analytics where you can see the reach of every post. You can go into your analytics. It's really easy to find in your settings panel. And you can see how many posts that reached, even if nobody's commenting on it. And that's going to happen a lot. I send out a lot of tweets for a lot of people that are about important things that people will reference to me like I'll go to lunch and they'll talk about it, but they didn't like it, they didn't retweet it, and they didn't comment back. I don't know why that is, because I'm such a, like, if I appreciate something, I want them to know, but that's just kind of how it goes on Twitter. Don't be afraid to repeat information. It's totally acceptable, and on this one channel, to tweet something like at 10 in the morning and tweeted the exact same thing again at 4 p.m. Because it's that quick that you're going to be hitting people that you weren't going to get before, and nobody's going to go back and be annoyed that you already talked about it. If you put the same Facebook post up at 10 a.m. and at 4 p.m., people will get annoyed. And Twitter is free too. Don't forget that all of this is free. I mean, 10 years ago, businesses, we were paying, like, I remember in the newspaper what folks were paying, you know, like thousands and thousands of dollars just to reach anybody. So don't be afraid to use this stuff. Okay, we're going to talk about your ideal Twitter account and what it should look like. Have a high-resolution cover photo and test it on all devices. Your cover photo is the really long one at the top. The interesting thing about Twitter that's really different from the other channels is that this will crop and look incredibly different on mobile devices versus desktop. So when you do change that seasonally at most, you want to go and make sure that I could put this photo up on Facebook, and then I could check, or I'm sorry, I could put it up on a desktop for Twitter, and then I could go check it on like my iPhone, and it would like shrink it to a window of the PNC building, which isn't desirable. So those are things to be aware of. A profile photo that matches your other profiles like Facebook, Instagram. It's just gotten to the point where I want people to see the blue skyline, the green buildings below, the verbiage with it. It's downtown, it's downtown, it's downtown. Every single time, everything we talk about, this is what we're doing, this is why we're excited. They see those colors, and we're just as humans, that's how we're trained. So that needs us to match up so that when people see that logo on Facebook, they see it on Instagram, they see it on Tumblr, they see it Constant Contact, et cetera. In your brain, you're putting it all together as one single voice, even though it's coming from different channels. Fill in your profile information and website URL. This goes back to what I was talking about, the full circle of everything connecting. You want people to go to your website before they come to you and ask you questions that you could be spending doing great things with your business. And then if you'll see on the right, it's going to actually tell you how many impressions you had that day, the time. If you're running the Insomniac page, this would be great for you because you get to see, oh, like 3 a.m. is when I spike. That's when I should put all my posts up, and it's a great way to just kind of track what's going on. Okay, just a little bit more in depth about Twitter. Post frequently, it's less deliberate than Facebook, we covered that. Use photos often, but not always. Horizontal, so Twitter doesn't have to guess where to crop. Use images 600 pixel in width. 600 pixel in width is just code for high resolution, something really solid. And when I say, so Twitter doesn't need to know where to crop, if I were to take a photo of this whole room horizontal, and I were to post the whole thing, Twitter could put it up, and they might show like the top of the room with the clocks and the lights, and they would miss the important part right here. So I make sure that I do the work for them, and I will crop exactly what I want it to see, and then I'll post it so that you don't have to hope. Twitter does have a tool that will like guess facial features, and maybe after 30 minutes it'll tweak it for you and it'll push it up so it's hitting the faces. But because Twitter is so quick, I don't really care 30 minutes from now and nobody else is, so you want to get it right the first time. Make it a two-way conversation, not a one-way trail of self-indulgence, hence the mute button. Some people just want to trail off. The great thing about Twitter is that it is supposed to be social. It's social media, and you don't want it to just be about yourself. You want it to be about other people too. We'll talk more about that in best practices at the end. Okay, use hashtags correctly. I would say the older generation that's trying to get into Twitter, this is where I see the most common mistakes for this. Someone will talk about their shop and maybe talk about downtown Fort Wayne, but instead of tagging FWDID, which is the Twitter handle, they'll hashtag it, which I will never see and nobody uses. So the hashtag for like downtown Fort Wayne is DTFW. Anything that's happening downtown Fort Wayne, if you're going for drinks or you're riding your bike or you're at a play or you're on the riverfront or whatnot, you could use that. And what it does is it brings everybody together into this is what's happening, and it's all combined so that you can see the purpose of it. Another way that people are using hashtags incorrectly is like as a form of sarcasm. Like if you were here today, you could be like, I'm having such a great time at the DBC with Steven, hashtag, when is this gonna be over? Hashtag, I'm starving, hashtag, this guy won't stop talking, you know, like that. You wanna use hashtags specifically for the real purpose. And if you're creating a hashtag, you want to create it with the purpose that you're going to use it forever. When I created DTFW, I took the risk that downtown Fort Worth, which is a bigger city connected to Dallas, would use that hashtag. But everybody in the community has really stepped up, and that's a really common hashtag, and it's always trending locally. So now we don't have to worry about downtown Fort Worth ever using it, because if they did, they would know that Fort Wayne already has it, and they would be upset because Fort Wayne would keep filling up their newsfeed. So we've already owned it. So if you can take a hashtag and you can make it something that you can kind of bring synergy with businesses, like the West End shops, like from City Exchange to House of Furniture to Saving Grace, they've all kind of come together, and the hashtag is West End Shops. Nobody else is using that, and you could click on that maybe on Twitter or on Instagram on a Saturday morning before you go shopping, and you could know, oh my gosh, like House of Furniture is having 40% off today, or Saving Grace has that table that I really wanted to buy and it's still available. And it's a great way to bring it together. Use bit.ly.com. So if you go to bit.ly.com, B-I-T-L-Y, what you can do is you can copy and paste a web address URL into it, and it'll shorten it for you. You can copy that URL, and you can put it into Twitter. So that instead of me saying, hey, come to the DBC and see me today, http://www.downtownfortwayne.com/DBC, it would just have a short little bit.ly link, which makes your Twitter look nice and succinct, and people can click that, and it'll go directly to the address that I just said. TweetDeck and Hootsuite are options that you might want to look into. I don't personally use them, but I have nothing against them. I am kind of different in that everything that I do in real time, and I don't sleep a lot because of that. I know a lot of people schedule their tweets, but I am always concerned that things are going to change. Like I could plan tweets on a Sunday night, and then by Monday morning, maybe this awesome parade we were talking about, there's a thunderstorm. And if I tweeted that, that would sound so irrelevant and crazy. Or maybe the sale that was happening, they sold out, so there's no longer a sale. And the idea of creating more work instead of just being efficient and doing it in the moment is not appealing to me. But if you are owning your business and you know that there are things that won't change and you want to get this done, those are really two great tools that will allow you to do it and can also allow you to run multiple pages on them at once. You have a question? Yeah.
Yes. I've used owly.com.
Okay.
Is one better than the other?
Nope, that's a great one too.
Okay.
Yeah. You can go to, there's also so Owly is like bit.ly. It's just a way to shorten your link. Another one is Google, GOO.GL, and Google has their shortening link also. Some of them just have their hiccups, like if you're trying to bit.ly a Facebook event, it won't do it for whatever reason, so I usually go to Google for that. You just have to switch back and forth sometimes. You want to switch up your tweets so that they're not all photos. They're not all just verbiage. They're a little bit of everything so that the folks that are seeing this stuff come through their newsfeed are not going to be bombarded. And we'll get into a little bit more of that later. Does anybody have any questions about this? Yeah, go for it.
Is there a place we could go to know whether the hashtag is already being used by Fort Worth?
So on Instagram, well, actually Facebook too, Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, you could type in the hashtag just in the search area. They all have search areas, and click it, and anybody that is public will come up. If you have a private profile, it won't. And that's a great way to check. So sometimes when we're having a new event or we're creating a hashtag, man, there was one not too recently that we came up with this awesome hashtag for something we were working on, and I went and checked, and there were like naked ladies connected to it, and that would have been really bad for this family-friendly event if people were going to check the hashtag. So always do that. Yeah, that's a great question. Was there someone else? Sorry. Okay. We're going to move on here. Okay, Twitter conversation. This is a tweet from just a regular person out on Twitter that I just really love. So she tagged the embassy, she tagged the DID, which is downtown Fort Wayne, and she tagged Coney Island. Third grade study trip tomorrow, History Center, Coney Island, and the embassy. The kids love it. And then you saw that downtown jumped in, Coney Island jumped in, she jumped in back, and it's just a really great way to create community. I mean, she could have asked a question, she could have asked where's the best place to eat? What time are they open? Where else can we go after this? Do you have any ideas? We get a lot of that. And that's what Twitter is really for. You know, if you are running a Twitter account, it's not something that you want to check like once at night. If you're going to commit to it, you need to keep it on and you need to be responsive, because if people are tweeting you, they're not going to want to know 8 hours later the answer to their question. So, yeah.
I have a question about tagging. Sometimes I'm unable to tag on my phone, but I can do it on the desktop. Why can you share my
Yeah, it's a glitch and it sucks. Yeah, those are little tweaks that it usually, I mean, I've seen tweaks take a year before they pick up on it. I don't know what the problem is. You can always submit. It'll sometimes give you like an error thing and you could submit. That'd be my best suggestion. Yeah, that's frustrating. Anybody else? Okay. Okay, so Twitter conversations should be split into 3 areas. One is unique posts. That is you creating a post that might have a photo. It might have a link to your website. It might just be, have a great day today. 2 is conversation. That means back and forth. That's what's happening right here. So you are just engaging and not letting it be a one-person show. Sometimes I feel so sad. I'll go check on a Twitter account and it will literally be weeks and weeks and weeks of just pushing information out. There's no engagement. There's no response to questions. There's no retweeting. There's no like being a member of your Twitter community. It's just, this is what I'm putting out to you, da-da-da-da-da-da, and that's it. So unique posts, the conversation, and then what I was just mentioning, retweets. And that leads into care about others and they will care about you. If they aren't responsive, let them go. So it's basically scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. It's not a form of manipulation. It's just a form of being like a team player and a community member. I try to really actively retweet anything that in any way connects to any of the brands that I'm working with that might help my audience, because if I retweet it, everybody that's following me also sees it. So if I'm running downtown Fort Wayne and Coney Island posts something about, hey, hot dog special today or whatnot, if I retweet that, then all the folks that love downtown will see that and hopefully they'll go have a hot dog. Retweet important information from others to help earn their loyalty to your brand. It's a really great way to pick up new followers. It's a great way to pick up people. If you retweet, they're more likely to retweet you. And these things are really key because Twitter is by far the hardest thing to grow on any channel for any business. It can get really, really tricky. And out of Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, I'm finding that it is the one that's slowing down. It's not dying. It's nothing to be scared of, but it has become our, like the least amount of followers that we have. Instagram just passed it, and we've had Twitter for twice as long, like years and years and years we've had Twitter. We just started Instagram a few years ago, and it just bypassed it in the last few months. Instagram just bypassed it in the last few months. Okay, search out keywords and people near you to bring people into your conversation. So I started finding that I was playing the game of creating unique posts and retweets, but I was having a hard time like with the conversation, like the people I was following. I would see stuff coming through my feed and I just, you just didn't want to comment, awesome. I mean, that's, like, great, good job. And one thing you can do is there is a keyword area at the top where you can enter in search terms. And so I do waiter on the way. And one of the things that I love to look for is like hungry or hungry AF, if you know what that means. And people will, and then I can go down and I can say, I only want to see these search terms in the Fort Wayne area. And like 4 people in the last 3 hours be like, I am so hungry. And then as waiter on the way, I can be like, no problem. Like, are you hungry for pizza? Are you hungry for Italian food, for salads, for soups? And you'd be surprised how many people will like place an order. It's crazy. And you can link them to like the menu. You could send them a photo of your special for the day. And they're like, you mean I can have that delivered for $3 and it'll be here in 30 minutes? Okay. So this is a really great way to get people into your brand and to get them to follow you. And you'd be surprised how many people just want to know that you care, even if you're a business. So if you just have a little bit back and forth, they will be all about you and be your loyalist follower. Any questions about any of this? Okay. We are going to jump into Instagram. So a photo is worth 1,000 words. I think Instagram has proved that so much. It is now the fastest growing channel of anything that I manage. The DID has picked up 300 people a week every week for the last 8 weeks. And that is now surpassing our Facebook. And if things keep going at this rate, it'll end up passing our Facebook. It is the one channel that is just not seeing any pushback from like millennials or grandparents or kids. Everybody just loves it. It's easy, it's quick, it gets information out, and it's beautiful. Point, click, post. This is the easiest social media. Don't overthink it. They have given you every filter and every crop option out there, and it's really easy to make anything look really pretty. You don't have to be a professional photographer. You can do all this with your mobile phone now. It's mobile and it's browser viewable. A lot of people don't know this, but if you go to instagram.com/ the name of your Instagram, you can view all of this online too. Now growing quicker than Facebook, and like everything else, it's free. It's 24/7. This is gold. If you're selling products, if you're selling food, I'm so visual that every day I'm downtown and I just don't know where I'm eating every day. I don't know what I'm buying. I really don't know what I'm doing outside of my meetings and everything. And so often something will come through like Hoppy Gnome. Oh my God, that looks amazing. That's where I go for lunch. It's that easy. So if you're not putting your products and your food and your items and your agenda for your business and the things that are pulling people that is visual on this, you're really losing out because it's completely free. It's growing quicker than ever. And Facebook owns Instagram. I don't know if a lot of people know that. They do, but it hasn't reached the point yet where we have to pay. So I would get on that bandwagon while you can because I think it's coming. All right. So the ideal Instagram profile. All of this you have to set up from your phone, even though you can view it on desktop. You want a matching profile picture for branding. It's circular. Keep that in mind. The others are square. Because the DIDS logo was actually square, I went into Photoshop and I pulled the green and I pulled the blue and I pulled the light blue up so that it would fit, because before it was like this awkward square in the middle of a circle. So those are things you can do to try to make that look good. A little bio, which is the DIDS mission statement. A link to the website. I've got the hashtag in it. Let me read that. Tag your DTFW photo. So you can encourage people to know your hashtag and to use it. So anybody that comes to our Instagram page that might be visiting downtown Fort Wayne and they don't know it, instantly knows that they can be part of the community and they can tag themselves in the conversation. I would also suggest making your handle with all of these and your hashtags as short as possible, because when you're dealing with 140 characters on Twitter to jump back, it takes away. So if you can make a short hashtag, it doesn't take away from your 140 count. And Instagram, we don't want the post to be as long as Facebook. We want them to be short. We want the focus to be on the photo, but there's nothing wrong with adding a little verbiage. Link to your website. Okay, I'm sure you guys have seen link in bio option. Are you guys seeing that on Instagram a lot? I'm kind of curious. So what people are doing is, because you can't link in Instagram, when you put a post up, if you were to type out a link, it's not clickable at this point. The only thing that's clickable on Instagram is your bio link, which ideally goes back to your website. I don't do this with any of my clients, but it doesn't mean it's not a good option. If you're a business and say you have an Etsy shop or you have an eBay shop or something and you are putting photos up and you could say, hey, we're having a sale on shoes today. Click the link in the bio, it'll take you right there with the code and you could check out and save 10%. You just have to update that every day with what you're talking about so that your posts that say link in bio will go to the link on your profile page and it'll take them where they want to go. It's the only place that you can put a link, so you want to use it to your benefit. But if you're not going to do a link in bio and change it frequently, put it to your main website. Yeah, that covers it. Any questions on that? I know that was kind of quick. Yeah.
Do you find that you're using a certain strategy to grow your following on Instagram?
Yeah. So we'll get to this in a minute, but I'm going to actually. Yeah. So I'll show you some apps that might help with that too. Nighttime and early morning for Instagram are really big, I found, in comparison to Twitter and Facebook. People really late at night. I could put something up at 3 a.m. and by 7 a.m., when folks are waking up and they're brushing their teeth and they're looking at their phone, you'll kill it. So early in the morning and late at night are great times to post.
Do you think that's going to change though with Instagram switching to the algorithm like Facebook now? Where
Yeah.
It's not?
So I don't know if you've noticed recently, but they're pushing stuff to the top. And so that kind of follows what I was saying. If you can get those likes in the morning or at the night, they're more likely to put it at the top of the feed and then it'll get more. So posting time is becoming more and more relevant for your channels. And then just a solid photo. I really, with that little exception, only use Instagram in real time. I don't really like to use it to like, hey, here's a photo from last year. You should come to this event that we're having again. I prefer to use it like, hey, we're setting up for this event, or we're having a team meeting about this event, or hey, here's the marketing material for this event, or here's a shot of where this event's going to be at. We can't wait to see you, so that it's in real time. I think that folks just appreciate, because that's what it was originally created for, instead of older photos that also tend to be pixelized, low resolution, and you can kind of tell that they're not taken in the moment. So, okay. All right, so I just wanted to show you an example of the power of Instagram. So I was driving by like Rudy's wine shop and Parkview Field. This was maybe 2 weeks ago. I'm in my car. I have my phone out. I promise I wasn't texting and driving. And I was going through this intersection, and I just saw these people. And in my car, in my head, I'm thinking, beautiful clouds, full day, baseball game. Rudy's is over there, bikes, people outside, great weather, killer. I want this, but I'm driving. So I literally like held my phone out, and I just like took like 7 photos like really quick as I'm going through the intersection, hoping that I might just get one that I could filter to use. So in the top photo, that's the original photo. You can see like the reflection of my dashboard on the right-hand side. That doesn't make it look good. It's kind of choppy. But then I cropped it. I was able to use the left side. This photo got like 450 likes. I tagged Parkview Field. They recently opened an Instagram account like maybe 2 months ago, and I said, hey, follow our friends. They gained, I think, 70 followers in 24 hours. I was able to like strengthen that connection with them. People were thinking about baseball. They were thinking about bikes. They were thinking that downtown is cool. And that was all just driving through an intersection, hoping to get a photo. And that's how easy it is, because Instagram is trying to make this easy for you. It's just, don't be scared to take photos. You never know what you might get out of it. Before you start rolling with your Instagram, or maybe after you leave today, rethinking what you're using it for, decide on the intention of your Instagram before you take your first or your next photo. Decide who you want to be, decide what your message is, decide the audience that you're looking for, who your audience is, and keep that in mind when you're taking those photos. Take photos regularly. That might be several times a day, or it might be several times a month. There's nothing wrong with giving all your channels a break. I really try to keep them on all the time so that people know I'm hardworking and the information is getting out there, but at the same time, I think people appreciate not being bombarded 1,000 times a week. It's okay to let them breathe a little. It's also okay to like maybe post 2 photos like 10 minutes apart on Instagram. People are not going to be upset about that the way they used to be on Facebook. Yeah, Dennis, you have a question?
Yeah, could you just give an example of like, who do you think is saying, oh, this person has a really good Instagram, this person has a really good Facebook, so we can see and kind of observe what the art of doing that type of post is?
I love that you're asking this question, because I would say visit Fort Wayne. John does an incredible job. Dennis works at Visit Fort Wayne. If you would go to Visit Fort Wayne's Instagram and you would go to Visit Fort Wayne's web and Facebook, they're timely, they're pertinent, they're graphic friendly. They're not over posting, they're not under posting, they're colorful. They make me want to eat there, they make me want to drive there, they make me want to converse with those people, they make me want to buy those products. It's just, if I were living in Indy, or I were living in Antwerp or Cleveland or whatever, and I saw this, I would think that Fort Wayne was a pretty cool city, and why hadn't I been there? So I really do mean that. Like, yeah. Yeah, nope. Someone else have a question? Okay, yeah.
On Instagram, I know that you can, or I do this all the time, but I want to know what your thoughts are, if this is a good way to post. When you post on Instagram and you have an option to click Facebook, Twitter, and some of the other ones to post at the same time through that, is that a good way to post on those on the same thing, or do you think I should go in separately, because I'm just trying to save time?
That's a great question. I've got that on my best practices at the end, but we'll go ahead and talk about that now. I hate telling people like this is the way you have to do anything and that this is the only way, and my advice is like highway or no way. Like, find your own rhythm and do that. I would just say in my experience that I don't connect anything. I see a lot of stuff coming through on Twitter, and it's like 4 words, like 4 Yeah, 4 words of the Instagram post. I have no idea what the rest of it says, so it doesn't make sense. And then it links to the Instagram. I have to go take all that effort of like clicking the photo instead of just seeing it. No engagement. And I look like there was a business that went out of business that worked downtown, and that's all they did for their Twitter. It's the only reason they connected their Facebook and their Instagram to it, but they never actually authentically posted on Twitter. And you would just go through like weeks and weeks and weeks of this, and they wouldn't have like a single like, nothing, no anything, no engagement. So my recommendation is to, if you're going to have unique channels, treat them differently, and I'll get more in depth on that in a minute, but yeah. If you're selling products or food, Instagram is your ticket. We talked about that. Video is a great way to jump into video if you've never been friendly with it, if you've been intimidated by it, if you didn't have the software. Video has been moved from 15 seconds to a full minute now on Instagram. And the same filters that you do on photos, you can do on video. I do House of Furniture's social media, and we do a weekly Instagram featured video. And the lady there will just talk about one of the pieces of furniture. She'll keep it under a minute. She'll say the price, why it's awesome, who made it, why it's authentic, what its features are, wrap it up, and like that stuff sells. I mean, sells. Like sometimes she'll call me and she'll be like 2 hours later, like it's gone. So video is another way to just engage with your audience. And the thing about video is that you're in it. And I know a lot of people just, like I have a lot of clients and they're like, dear God, like don't ever put me in a photo. They want to like see everything. They want me to Photoshop all their face before, you know. So you do have to get over that. And I mean, that's a thing that I've had to get over too, because with all my channels, like I try so hard to just blend into each brand that I'm with and to put that hat on and not be, when people see tweets from downtown Fort Wayne, I really hope they don't think of me. I just hope they think about how downtown is awesome. And I would get concerned, you know, if I was constantly putting my face and my voice out there, that I don't want to be the spokesman. I mean, that's what Bill Brown is for. So, but if you're a business, it's a really great opportunity. Like Kelly Heller that runs House of Furniture, I sat her down and I said, do you realize that when you are in a post, like beside a piece of furniture, that it gets more likes, that it gets more engagement? She's such a lively person. When people come into her business, she connects with them and they like her and they want to buy her stuff. They want to be her friend. So when she inserts herself in the brand, it's a big deal and it helps the brand and people connect to it. So if you are that kind of a person, this would be a really great tool for you. And it's not the end of the world. I mean, we just all have to get over it, like the way social media is moving and the way our real lives are becoming our digital lives. I know sometimes it's really just hard to see yourself on camera and we all weigh 10 pounds more than we thought we did. But at the end of the day, I don't think that anybody is gonna hate you or talk about you or not come to your shop or not buy your products because of it. Okay, recommendations. This is a question that someone had. So these are the 3 that I would recommend if you're gonna write down for assistance with your Instagram. These are apps that you can purchase. I believe all 4 of them are free. Ta-da, might be a couple bucks. It's called Layout, Boomerang, Hyperlapse, and Ta-da. That's T-A-D-A-A. Layout is the thing. So Layout, Boomerang, and Hyperlapse are all owned by Instagram, which is owned by Facebook. These are apps that were designed to fit correctly with Instagram. Layout will allow you to put like 4 photos up in like a really nice collage. If you don't want to bombard everybody with photo after photo and you want to put them together, that's a great way to do it. Boomerang and Hyperlapse are the video tools that are now on Instagram where you're seeing like 3-second repeats of somebody doing something really quick, like shooting a ball and then it like coming back into their hand like over and over. Or Hyperlapse, like, what would that be? Like somebody canoeing on Riverfront Fort Wayne and like canoeing a whole mile, but you get to watch it in 7 seconds. And it just looks really cool. So, ta-da. I literally, every single filter, every single photo on every single Instagram that I run, it goes through ta-da first. It allows for a clarity and for a color that I just can't find with the filters on Instagram. So I actually Instagram my stuff twice before I put it up. It takes an extra second, but it's so worth it. I feel like my likes have gone up, the engagement has gone up, more people are following since I started using this app. And this is actually the first time I've ever said that publicly. I kind of found it on my own, so ta-da. Well, ta-da, yeah, there you go. Any questions on Instagram? And then we're gonna jump into general practices and then we'll do the drawings and question and answer. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, we got one more on Instagram. So follow other businesses. it's a really important way to get people to follow you. It's not as, every way has a really different method. With Instagram, you have to follow people to get them to follow you back. It's kind of the golden rule, unless you're like downtown Fort Wayne where people want to be a part of you naturally. Use hashtags correctly. We've talked about that. Tag others in your photos, but don't annoy them. Keep it minimal, but form that connection. Feature your business in connection, the community, and other businesses. Connecting the community. Feature your business and connecting the community and other businesses. So basically, let's say I do Three Rivers Distilling Company's social media. They've been up for 3 months, and they're putting their products in Tolan and the Hoppy Gnome. So a good feature of that would be for me to be on Three Rivers Distilling Instagram, to go to Hoppy Gnome, to order a drink with their spirits, to take a photo of it with like a Hoppy Gnome taco, and say, hey, like you can have our spirits now at Hoppy Gnome, and by the way, like their tacos are killer, you really need to try this combo. So Hoppy Gnome is winning, you're winning, you're strengthening the connection between your businesses, and then people on the outside that might like vodka or they might like a taco now have a reason to have the other one with it, and you can bring it together. Okay, these are actually really important. I didn't want to just put them in because they're generalized for all three. And this is the last thing we'll talk about. Wow, it's almost time. And then we'll wrap up here. So you can schedule posts if you have to, but there are pros and cons. And we kind of talked about this a little bit. The pros are that you can time manage. You can put everything out there. You can just be done with it, and it will run itself. The cons is that in today's world, things are constantly changing. And you need to be considerate of, like, say, it's such a beautiful day out, come down and try this sandwich, like, I'm feeling so happy and we can't wait to see you guys today. What if there had been like a mass shooting that day in the US and everybody is feeling it? What if there had been like a September 11th and you posted that? People wouldn't think, they probably scheduled that. They would think those people are happy. Like, I'm never going there again. So that's the stuff that makes me nervous about scheduling. It's those big things that you don't think about and those little things that would never be offensive, but in the time slot that they arrive could be. Content calendars can be helpful. There's nothing wrong with planning out a week in advance or a month in advance what you want to talk about, the people you're going to talk about, maybe the products you want to talk about, maybe a feature for an employee feature. A lot of my companies, I love doing that, making it personable. You could bring in like a waiter on the way driver, and we do this thing where, he's been here for 20 years and he's got 3 kids, and his most crazy experience was one time he showed up at a door and the lady answered it naked. Like things like that. Like people connect with that, they think it's clever, and it brings them, closer to the driver so that when they order, they feel more of a connection. So content calendar, it can be just planning out your days a little bit so that when you find those 5 minutes, because I know people are so busy and a lot of times social media gets pushed all the way to the back and it's the last thing you want to do, but you have to do it. You're not trying to find something and you know what you're going for. Don't link accounts if you can stay away from it. We kind of touched on that. Yeah, I'm trying to think if we have a little bit more of a reason to say that. Basically, if you can, okay, say I wanted to talk about the DBC, and we promoted this on our newsletters and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and the website. But I didn't want every day at 2 o'clock for me to post on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter the same photo talking about the same thing. Even if I was originally doing it and they weren't linked, I didn't want to do that. I might talk about it on Wednesday at 2 o'clock on Instagram, and then I might talk about it at 4 o'clock on Thursday on Facebook. So that I think people want to know that when they go to your channels, they're getting something new. Why would they ever go to your Twitter account if they knew it was always the same as your Facebook? You want to give them a reason, and I really do. I will talk about things on certain channels that you just won't see anywhere else so that people will know, oh, these are used individually for very specific reasons, and you want to check all of them. Bring yourself into the branding if appropriate. We talked about that. That is something that can really help you. I definitely recommend it. If you're a good fit for it, go for it. Kindness and connection. People are always like, Stephen, like, what's your magic thing to make things work? Like, what do you do? Not to sound corny or too Oprah, but like, it's love. Like the thing with all social media, with life in general, social media is just merging your real life with your digital life. And in real life, if you are open and you're honest and you're loving and you're kind and you care, people will gravitate towards you. And if you can be that person and you can push that through on your social, even in a business world, people are going to feel that. There's no faking that. And actually random acts of kindness, like sometimes I'll just catch things downtown, like people putting money in parking meters or people helping someone up a stair, and I'll try to like catch it and put it up, and that will blow up. And people are seeing so much hate and so much stuff from the news channels in the world that it's an opportunity for people to share and be like, look at what this cop did for this lady who had her car broken down on Calhoun Street, stuff like that. So, and even if you're a business, it's a way to see things that are happening in the real world. There's nothing wrong with talking about that on your business page. You can be business 90% of the time, and you can be a little personal too. Leave your personal beliefs for your personal friends on Facebook. God bless them. So we've, there's been some incidents I've even seen on like downtown channels with businesses that are really getting into politics or into religion, especially with the climate right now. And it's just really important to remember that people are going to bring that experience with them when they think about your store, when they think about entering it. And you have to realize, like, there are two people outside of you, and guaranteed one of them thinks the exact opposite of you. I mean, this election that's going on is the exact example of that. For everything that you think is right, there is one person that thinks you are crazy. And I've gone to shops where they play certain music, and I don't want to listen to that music, and I just won't go back, even though I love their stuff. And that's like a bummer for me, and I don't want to sit them down and be like, your personal beliefs upset me, so I'm not going to shop here anymore. I just won't shop there. And if that is pushed through on their Facebook and on their Twitter, I won't shop there either. So. Let's also talk, someone wanted me to specifically talk about how to handle people that are negative, or when you have like a really hefty situation on Facebook. I just saw a face, yeah. How do you handle that? I mean, there are some days where I go home at night and it's just like, pour me not one glass of wine, but like I will take the bottle. Like dealing with literally tens of thousands of people in a 24-hour period through all these channels, it can be, because I'm sensitive, just mind-numbingly exhausting. And you have to find a way to allow people to post their opinions with respect for your brand. And this whole thing that like, I have my amendment rights and like, I'm gonna sue you and I'm allowed to post this on your page, that's not true. If it's your business page, you can delete whatever you want. You're never gonna be sued, you're never gonna be taken to court. Mark Zuckerberg isn't gonna like slap you on the hand. It's your page, and you can do whatever you want with it. Like downtown Fort Wayne has very specific rules about cursing, about promoting, like religious things or political things, or just having an agenda to just ruin people's day. Like if you're just commenting on other people's comments just to start a fight, it's not gonna happen. So one thing to keep in mind with this, especially on Facebook, where I would see most of the fighting, I see it a little bit on Twitter, but it just goes crazy on Facebook, is there's something called a mute button. If you're an admin, you have access to the mute button. What that does is, if you can stay on top of it and keep those, like when those comments happen, if you mute it right away, the person that posted it and their friends in their network can still see it. So nobody knows it's been muted. But every other person that comes to that public page that would be offended will never see the comment. Because if you delete it, they're going to know, they're going to be upset, they're going to approach you, they're going to want, all of this to happen. So muting is a really great thing, and this can happen on any business page. I've seen it in the most craziest of places. I've seen it, I'm not going to name, but just some businesses downtown where I can't believe it's been taken there. So that's something to keep in mind. And then that kind of leads in, and this is where we'll leave it before we do question and answer, is that you control the conversation and be a positive voice in your community on both sides of the conversation. I really made the choice in 2012 when I came on with the DID and was connected, and we were growing all these channels, and people were really excited that, no offense, but I wasn't going to be News Channel 15. I just wasn't. And there's a lot of things that I could post, like the arena, like things about Tom Henry, things that people have very passionate views on and can get upset about really easy, and you just have to be really careful. Like some of these would be better suited for Twitter. Some of this would be better suited for Instagram. just not putting stuff up just so you can get the likes. News Channel puts up a lot of stuff and they get a ton of likes and they get a lot of comments and you guys are talking about it on your lunch hour, but does it make you feel better? Does it make the community better? Does it do anything for anybody? If you look at the did stuff, it's always talking about the positive. And it's not because it's just rose-colored glasses, but it's because you have the opportunity to be a leader with your admin page, no matter what your business is, to reach hundreds and thousands of people and to talk about something really good and just keep the conversation going. And being on this side, as you all that are running these pages know, that when people are nasty and rude, you're just running a Facebook page. Like, you can't really call the president on the phone and change the world if you wanted to. So it's really changed my view of even seeing things come through that I used to put little quips on or being sarcastic or, putting those comments because, it's just a small world after all. So I'm going to wrap it up there. If you guys have a question right now, I can take that. Otherwise, I think I'll turn it back over and we can do question and answer. You got one? Yeah.
I just have a simple question.
Thanks.
How often would you suggest posting on any social media channel, especially for small businesses that
Yeah.
don't necessarily have a lot of news going on, and you don't want to just push your products either because people don't like that?
Yeah. For small businesses, I would say 3 days a week is okay. You can do 5 days a week sometimes. If you do anything less than 2, it kind of reaches a point where it's like, why do you have it?
Right.
And it might not be worth your time where you could be spending it on other marketing. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, good question. Absolutely. Okay, I think I'm going to turn it back over. Here you go.
Thank you very much, Stephen. And if there are no more questions, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you being here and sharing this wisdom on a topic like social media. It's so relevant these days. And this has been when we did this several years ago, a couple years ago, it was very well received. This will be on the cable access, so it can be viewed. It'll also be on our YouTube channel. So that'll be available at any time if you need a recap. We are going to have a drawing. We're going to go ahead and let everybody kind of get ready to go, and we'll pull the. I suppose we could do the drawing now. I think if you'd like to, and we'll pick a nonpartisan person here to do the drawing. I guess that'll be Stephen Bailey.
Okay. Amanda Crismore. Yay. This is for restaurant gift card. Cool.
Restaurant of your choice. We always try to promote the all our downtown a key part of our downtown ecosystem is the restaurants, and we go out of our way to promote them. This is for the Kindle Fire.
Beckman.
Chris, all right, very good. Just one last thing. We do these events every so often, and we would love to know more about what you think is relevant in your life and down in the downtown Fort Wayne. So whether it's more information about retail, restaurant, shopping, access, whatever it might be more than happy to learn that, and just let us know. And again, thank you very much for coming.